Hey people, welcome back for another edition of the Jagged Edge. This is Ian here along with Chris.
What's up, everyone? I still can taste the candy in my mouth.
Coming out of the theater.
We
Yeah,
we just no we did this last time for
for
Logan. You had
Logan.
just seen it.
Right. I
I
was I
I
was in
had
the late
seen
show
it.
for that.
I
Yeah,
had
yeah.
seen it, but you had just seen it, and so that was fun. That was fun, and so we're trying it now. We've both just seen it. You're about 2 hours. I'm about half an hour.
Yeah, you're literally
I'm
just getting home.
I'm just getting out a little bit longer than it should have been too, which we'll probably get into. But um, yeah. All right. I'm
Yeah.
sorry I interrupted.
No, just a comment. Things have been pretty packed. Obviously, just coming hot off the press, Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Plenty to talk about there. We've had a whole lot of other stuff that's come up over the week and before, of course, May the 4th. I know Star Wars fans out there, uh, hope you guys found some stuff awesome. I didn't see a whole lot announced that day. I saw DeviantArt. There's some pretty slick art out and stuff like that. And of course, there's some fun gaming news. I got a few things to rant about later on, but I'll bring that back in for a sec because I want to keep focused on MCU.
Yeah. Okay. So are we getting right into the movie?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. All right. So we talked about this, and we're not going to try to do a non-spoiler because we're both so jazzed up about what we just saw. Honestly, it would be kind of, since we're not doing this in a very analytical way, it would be very hard to do a non-spoiler. So
Yeah.
we're spoiling the crap out of it. Um, Yeah, we're just gonna talk about it. And now it's weird because I usually have most of the notes. I have no notes this week. And then when we did Logan, I had notes. It was kind of analytical about it right there. It's like, well, what about this and what about this and what about this? I got nothing. I got nothing but stale soda and Reese's Pieces in my teeth. In my teethers. There you go.
I had what was it? I was kind of sad I missed the Dippin' Dots. I realized that they were kind of tucked away in the corner out of a bin. I would have got those if I saw them. I picked up like some little cookie minis or something like that. That's all I had.
That's gonna be the new thing. Reese's Pieces in my teeth.
That's better than I want my two front teeth. I'll take it.
That's. I'm gonna use that every time. Probably not. I'll probably forget. But I'm gonna try. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's just start with this. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Did you love it? Which get out of the three? Out of the three.
Out of like, hate, love, I'm gonna pick like.
You're gonna pick like?
I didn't go like.
This from Superman 4 guy. I guess I should have.
Yeah, man. I mean, clearly, movie of the year, more like movie of the last 30 years. Obviously, where have you been?
Oh
No, no. I think you need to put a fourth in there. Like enjoyed immensely. I really did like it, but I'll say this at the start: I enjoyed the first one a little better. I'll go into my reasons why, and I'm not panning it. As a result, it was a very fun movie, and again, Marvel is just being Marvel and just being awesome again. But I'll get into that.
Okay. So actually, hold on. Hold on. I'm gonna stop this right there. Let's put a little bit of context to this, as far as where we are as fans of the comics, of the origin material.
Mm-hmm.
I am no particular fan of the comic. I'm no particular fan of any of these characters from the comic.
Right.
I really liked the first one. I did not see the first one in the theater. I did
Really?
wait until it came out on DVD. In fact, the first time I saw it, we showed it at the place I was working. We showed it on Christmas night for the residents that didn't go home for Christmas. That was the whole thing. It's like, hey, we got this, and so we put it on the 80-inch screen, and I watched it with a bunch of international students. So, but no, it was great. We had a great time. I really enjoyed it. A lot of fun. But yeah, so no, I really enjoyed the first one. So you liked the first one a little bit better. I think I'm gonna have to agree.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not totally sure though. Maybe let that digest a little bit more. But okay, so where do you sit as far as context, as far as fan of the origin of the comic?
Very similar to you. Some of the things hinted at post credits, I was actually more familiar with than the Guardians themselves coming into this, and that counts for where I stood coming into the first movie as well. Just to place that there, so I'm not in any place, I think, to really do a huge comparison or say, well, this was something that happened in a comic arc. This was something that happened in a story. Nope, completely fresh on the books, and I kind of like this one like that. So.
All right, fair enough. Yeah, I mean, the original Guardians of the Galaxy was a bit of a test pilot. They knew that they were doing one of their most least popular comic titles.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not even knocking it at all, but it has been
Right.
off and on. It's not been a huge one. The first one is almost just kind of a beta of, well, how crazy can we take things, and what will the reaction be? Which it obviously worked really well for a lot of people. It's their favorite, and remains so. I think it's great. I think it's one of their better ones. You almost can't compare it though, because it is so different, and
True.
I think you've got a lot of that now too.
Yeah. The one thing I think we knew coming into this movie, instead of an introduction to the team, getting the group together, of course, this was delving into a lot of origins, and that's origins for Star-Lord, and others, especially with how what's his actual genealogy? How does he actually hail? Then, of course, a lot more explanation on the relationship between Gamora and Nebula. I mean, it's pretty obvious what that is off the bat, of course, but I like their interplay a lot. And I thought their situation was really well built and rounded out more from the first movie as well. So that was some stuff we had off the bat. And my worry going into this was, okay, we're going to be kind of taking this out of more of a universal context and basing this just in the Guardians. How fresh is Marvel going to keep that throughout? Who are we going to have not as antagonist only, but what's going to really draw us to keeping with the pace of the story and to keep things moving well. And
Right.
I congratulate. I think they've done that. And I got to highlight this. Yeah, I don't think I've in any live action continuum or anything else seen movies back to back that I had no idea that any of the characters started out, but it made me interested enough to want to follow them, not just through movie one, but to see the next film and to be engaged during the second film. It's not something that you just sit through this and just kind of slump down in your chair. So
I agree. I think one of the strongest points of this movie, which is kind of funny because so many sequels get this wrong, is that they play to the strengths of it being a sequel perfectly. They know what they have from the first movie, and they do it perfectly. They expand on the characters, all of them, really well. And then they add in a couple new ones. I think that was one of the best parts of the movie, is just how they play off the strengths of what they had and how they moved forward with it. Yeah, I think going, I guess expanding on that a little bit more, how they do that and how they develop some of the storylines as far as Star-Lord's origins and Gamora and what's her sister's name?
Nebula.
Nebula. I thought that worked really well.
Yeah.
Even going further with Rocket and
Yeah.
Yondu, all of them. I think it's kind of funny because while Drax is the least expanded on as far as development, he's got the best lines in the whole movie. He is the star of the movie in so many ways.
And the fun part about that is you have such a stark stoic character who went from completely literal about everything to trying to learn what it is to bridge conversations, to try to learn what it is to speak in metaphors and things like that. And he stumbles and fumbles through it, but it's great. And he's really the character that makes the really just funny one-liners, the good transitions between scenes, but without coming off as, I think, inauthentic. It's just solid.
Right. Yeah, I mean, you've got. I think it's easy to say you've got some more serious personal storylines going here, but Drax does a good job of keeping it lighthearted. Just like the first one was.
Yeah.
He pulls it back from getting to be too serious, which was great. Okay, so you really liked it?
Really liked it.
Really liked it? I loved
Yeah.
it. I actually came in this a little apprehensive. I had heard that a couple of the concerns that you have with a movie like this is that the creators are going to jump the shark when it comes to some of the things that people really loved. That
Right.
being the soundtrack and that being the humor of the movies, and that was huge for the first one. So for most of what I'd heard was that people really enjoyed it, that they got it right. But there were a few people that said, like, the music is too pushy this time. It's taking
Mm.
too much of a, it's taking too much of a place in the overall movie,
Mm.
and that a lot of the humor didn't work. I did find that there was a couple instances where the music seemed a little out of place.
Right.
Just a couple though. There was one where it actually drew me out of what was going on. The humor though I thought was great.
Yeah. What?
Take that for what it is. Let that define me however you want. The humor was great.
What? You were commenting on the music. What was the scene that really just sort of pulled you out of everything, and you felt the music was a little overpowering?
Geez, I'm even trying to remember now. It was earlier on in the movie where this one of their classic 70s 80s songs just came out of nowhere.
Mm.
And gosh, I'm trying to remember. Maybe as we go through, I'll remember what it was.
Yeah.
At this moment, I'm not. I'm not. So I guess that's a good example of how much it really mattered to me.
Yeah.
Which it didn't, but it was. I did notice it. It was kind of like, hey, all right, hey, there is a movie going on here, more important than this song. Okay, all right, your favorite moments. We're gonna go all over here, people.
All right.
So, your favorite moments.
Man, standouts. I'm gonna start with one that wasn't a huge action scene or anything, but that really instantly got me more involved with the character, Yandu. When him and his crew, they're taking a break on that planet, that everyone's just relaxing at bars and whatnot, and you realize that the standing that he has with the Ravagers. He's come off as this rogue captain with the heart deep down. So often, but we never really got to see, where does he stand with the rest of his community? Like where's he really based? What's driving him, like that? And I think seeing that. And by the way, props to Sylvester Stallone. I actually didn't know he was going to be in this.
You didn't know Stallone was in it?
I didn't. I really didn't look at the cast and stuff a whole lot beforehand.
Obviously a very small part, but yeah, that's been known for a while that he had a small part in the movie.
Yeah. But his demand to have a place at the table, to be directly involved in the Ravager Council and being just summarily completely denied from that, and them explaining like the reasons why, that instantly gave a lot more, I think, of a basis in totality for him as a character, and I like that moment. I felt it shaped a lot of what happened in the first movie, and it really shaped this movie as well. So really dug that. Action scenes, so much. A lot of them were driven by the High Priest, Aisha. I gotta say, I loved her vanity, just how overinflated the egos her people were.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
And into the lengths they went through, just to punish someone for an insult, and just how ridiculous it got. I think it was really fun seeing they sort of treat this like gaming, in a way, like the way they have their fleet set up. That kind of made me smile.
I don't know how I felt about that. One of the complaints that I'd heard about the movie was that you don't ever really feel like your stars are in any real danger.
Right.
And I think I have to agree with that. And I think that scenario in of itself kind of takes you out of it. I get it. I get what they were trying to go for. It was like, this is such a technically advanced world. And they'd even said at one point they're not going to endanger any of their people to do the mission at the beginning. I have to agree with that, though. That I think that is a complaint. I don't know if that's so much an issue with this movie as much as it's a greater issue with Marvel movies.
Yeah.
That being said, again, this is spoilers, people. Somebody does die.
Yeah.
And we'll get onto that. But there was a neat factor to that. Like it's a video game, but at the same time, I think I'm gonna have to put that in a negative category.
Fair enough. Jumping scenes here too. Gamora versus Nebula.
That
Uh,
was awesome.
I thought it was a great scene. The
If you
way,
have a brother or sister, you can understand that too.
yeah, if I did, you know, the best way you can describe it is just pure hate. The way, especially the way she piloted that ship when she arrived on Ego at first, and just the way that whole scene and like this like pseudo reconciliation. When I mean that, they're not, even after all that, they're not there yet. Completely everything drawn off, sealed. They're not.
Mm.
But from the way the scene was framed, um, I think just cinematography behind it, the way it flowed, awesome, really well done, great in action, great in character building. That was probably the standout for me. And then coming out of that too, even though we had a lot fewer links to everything as was happening as a whole, e.g., leading towards Avengers 2, Thanos, and everything. Uh, Nebula pretty much states her goal, ultimately is to kill Thanos, and
Right.
Gamora is very frank about it. I don't know if that's possible. Um, I think both of them, out of anyone else, should have a very clear understanding of his power. And
This movie does a great job of really building up what's coming up with,
yeah,
while at the same time not really having much to do with it. It's funny because the Guardians of the Galaxy movies have the strongest ties to Thanos so
right,
far.
right,
But yeah, no, that's good. That's good background work. I think that's laying some foundation. That's going to be important.
yeah. The question is, what is she actually going to, Nebula rather, would find to be able to combat Thanos, and I don't know. Which sort of leads me into one of my greater points that took me down from that. Oh my God, over the hill, love, love, love. As you said, the first movie was so much closer to Thanos, and even we've been in Avengers. Some of the others, we've been talking about these extraplanetary threats and everything, and rough sketches of what's coming. But movie one, there was an Infinity Gem directly wielded. We had plenty of shots at Thanos. Had an idea of his hierarchy, sort of how his rulership, how his family works, and everything. And we really moved away from that here. Um, all that being said, I feel that each of these movies, as we get closer and closer to Avengers 2, is sort of like the arms race. E.g., at the end of each one of these movies, where is each of these groups standing? Because we know they're all going to be connected. So what are they going to gain to be able to bring to that conflict? And one of my concerns about it was, I looked, especially looking at Star Wars Origins, I was really wondering, okay, what's he going to come out of this with? Are we going to end with him, being basically, mortal, more towards, his human side, or is he going to be able to leverage his celestial roots in some way? From what we,
Yeah, I think if you're a big comic book fan, you might know how that works. I, however, have no idea.
yeah, I didn't either. And I mean, the answer to that, what we have at least at the end of this is that's apparently could be wrong, could be proven wrong at some point, but that's apparently non-existent now. I'm not sure, even though the traces of the portions of Ego planted of himself throughout the solar system and everything, even though those exist, those seem to be pretty void without his actual influence there, without his actual light. I just didn't know if Star-Lord would be able to have his own version of that and be able to use it. So it's weird. It's sort of, I guess it's like a net positive for how he grew emotionally, but really just what he, as a character, what he's bringing. I was kind of hoping there'd be more from that he'd come out of that with more, but I don't feel he did.
No, well, no, I don't think he's going to have powers. I think part of what
Oh.
makes him interesting is the fact that he's basically he's mortal and he
Yeah.
doesn't really have any powers. At the same time, I think his biggest advantage when you're comparing him to the other Marvel movies and the other characters is that he's lived most of his life in space.
Yeah.
And he's very adaptable in that. And that's going to be a scenario that I think is going to play a couple roles in the upcoming Infinity War. That being said, they're all fucking doomed. They're all doomed.
Yeah.
I think we've said it once or twice before. They're all going to die, folks. They're all going to die.
It ain't gonna be pretty.
Thanos is going to... No, it's going to be very pretty. That's why it's going to be awesome. It's going to be right out of the comic book, and they're all going to die. They're dead. They're all dead.
And they even had what was it? It's that, I think it's that game spinoff they have to it, or they had this in the preview to the theater I was at. I think they actually run into Thanos game, and then I mean his first line is, oh, the Guardians, tell me how you die. Um, Thanos is the last one. I think that's going to go easy on anything or anyone. And there's some pretty tough writing on the board. So careful how attached you get.
Okay, all right. Did you see The Watcher?
The Watcher.
The Watcher. The guy with the big head with his arms crossed. They showed the.
Oh, them. I was thinking of Well, Modok or Modok. That's what I was thinking of.
No, that's the Watcher. Oh my gosh.
Well, I didn't think it was Modok, but I thought that was like his race. That's what I'm saying.
Do you know who the Watcher is?
Yes.
Okay, that was the Watcher. How cool was that to see the Watcher?
Sick.
That was awesome.
Sick.
Well, now you know it was the Watcher.
Yeah, now that I know.
Yeah, no, that was awesome. Just see a glimpse. It's interesting to see where Marvel takes all this stuff with the space stuff. They can go crazy with it, but at the same time, they are building a foundation for their whole Marvel universe, and that's going to play a role, especially for the hardcore fans. This movie definitely laid a lot of foundation. Again, we were talking about it with Thanos. There's a lot more of that too.
You threw me a bit there. You refer to Watcher singular. I always thought they were as in watchers.
I don't remember if there's more than one or not, but there's one. There is the one that is on the moon, and he watches everything.
Right.
I believe for Earth.
Right. That's right. Utao or UA2, whatever it was.
Well, and he's dead now.
Yeah.
They killed him in the comics, and Nick Fury, I believe, is the Watcher now. Yeah, I don't know a lot about that, but
kind of want to see.
I've picked that up, but no, that was just cool. That was kind of a freak out moment for me, just to see him. Just because a lot of people are wondering, are they going to put the Watcher in there? How's that going to work? Stan Lee had the most lines he's had in a Marvel movie.
He did. He really did.
He had a lot. I know that particular character he's playing has a place in the Marvel universe. There's a name for him and all that. I don't remember what it is, but yeah, he had the biggest, most lines. He had the most he's had in a Marvel movie. That's kind of fun.
Yeah.
We get to see Howard the Duck again. Loved that.
Yep.
I am a fan of that god awful movie from the 80s.
Same.
I was a kid.
Yep.
It's like, hey, look at that talking duck, and he's getting fresh with the chick, whatever. That was fun. It's a horrible movie, but that was fun when I was little. No, yeah. I think coming out of this, I said it earlier, really liked the stuff with Drax. He was a lot of fun. Him and Mantis were perfect.
They were.
Oh my god! I think part of the reason why I like that is because you did not see that coming. I mean, with trailers and such, they showed a couple clips of interactions with these characters, but you knew there was going to be something with Gamora and in Nebula. You knew there was going to be something with Gamora and Star-Lord. Of course. You knew there was going to be something with Star-Lord and Ego. So I think some of the best surprise, though, was the interaction between Drax and Mantis and Rocket and Yondu.
Definitely. Especially, as we're talking about Rocket and Yondu, just sort of especially the abandonment that both of them went through. Again, that goes back to character development, and then even how I think Yondu ends up relating to Star-Lord about there's one thing having a biological father, but it's another thing being able to call somebody a dad, right. And what they actually meant for each other, and the real reason Yondu did not deliver him as he was instructed to do many years ago.
Yeah. Okay, and I don't have a problem with this. It seemed a little forced, though. The relationship between Quill and Yondu, it almost seems like, yes, we know there's this back history. It's while you definitely caught that there was a love between the two of them in some function from the first movie. A father-son was not the kind of relationship that I got from that at all, and it's fine. It's fine. I'm fine with it. I don't know if that's out of the comics or not. It works, but at the same time, it felt a little forced.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. A fair critique. I mean, especially if you compare to movie one, there's so many parts of the relationship that's just very transactional.
Right.
Things are just happenstance of, you've got something I need, there's a bounty on your head, or, it's just convenient right now to turn you in or whatever else. Or just so happened that they both need to work together with the Nova Corps, stuff like that. It was all,
Right.
you never had as much of an emotional base, but you get it.
The action was fun. There were actually a couple times in the movie where I have to remind myself that Rocket is not a real animal. That's
Yeah.
how good the CGI is.
Yeah.
In this thing. At the same time, there were a couple moments where the CG did look a little weak. Just a very couple minor points, though. I mean, when you're watching this movie, though, almost every shot has a little to a massive amount of CGI to it, being completely CGI.
Oh, yeah.
They're so good at doing this stuff now. I know people complain. Some people complain about the CGI that Marvel uses. I have no issue with this.
It's excellent.
I mean, yeah, Rocket's not real. Neither is Groot. and Baby Groot. We have to give him a moment.
We will.
I'm not in love with Baby Groot. I actually like the fact, and we haven't talked about the after credit movies. You do see a more grown up Groot.
Yeah,
they are getting him ready to be full grown for Infinity War. So, which is what I need from him.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I need him to be full grown Groot so that he can do his Groot stuff in Infinity War.
Yeah.
Baby Groot was fun.
Yeah.
I thought the whole intro was a little much, but overall,
I was just about to comment on that. We talked about music as well, and how powerful how much of the scene that took up in cases. I thought same thing, a little much. If anything, I sort of expected that scene to kind of pan to being, in a more of kind of orchestral, really serious one, and then back to Groot, sort of to give you that comparison, kind of like an Ant-Man. Ant-Man did this really well. When you were taken out of what seemed like a really intense battle near the end, and then they're just like tossing toy trains and stuff around. I love that. That was a really good touch and a way to kind of play on two perspectives on a scene. But as you said, in this one, there was a huge focus on Groot throughout. We could see a whole lot of the battle you knew was happening in the background. But yeah, I'm with you there.
I kind of wanted to see what was going on in the back more.
Same here. Absolutely. Yeah. So I said,
here's the thing. Overall, I really enjoyed this movie. I had a damn good time at this movie.
Yeah.
That being said, I mean, for what it is, which it's an ensemble piece, it's a comedy piece, it's very pretty. You don't go and see Guardians of the Galaxy 1 or 2 for the super dramatic content. There is some, but it's not what it is. That's not the meal that you're eating. This is more like breakfast for dinner. I think that's a safe one to say. It is. Spit that out. This is not, that being said, for what it is, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's a lot of, it is what it is. If you're going in there thinking you're getting Star Wars, no. And you really shouldn't. And you should probably pay attention to the trailers a little bit more if that's what you thought.
Yeah, there's always a sense of lightheartedness to follow this. And the one thing I liked, as serious as some of the other instances get in other Marvel films, even though they have a way of keeping humor and lightheartedness in, I love the way Guardians took something as serious as Thanos and his crew and still managed to make you laugh in that one. And I think you've got a lot of that here as well. My only thing I think I was expecting was I was curious how they were going to do this, if there was going to be more of a connection, directly about Thanos, or seeing what his movement is right now or what his activities, but no real focus on Infinity Gems. Or anything like that, especially, which is interesting because in the last couple Marvel movies, Infinity Gems have been anchors, parts of the story. It's an anchor in Thor. We've had at the recent Avengers, of course. With man, I'm gonna. It's so bad. I'm gonna be forgetting his name. Help me out here.
What's that?
The Avengers are Red Fella. The
Red Fella in Avengers. What, Ant-Man?
Not Ant-Man. He has the Infinity Gem planted in his head.
Oh, Vision.
I was about to say something else.
When I think Vision, I still think of him in his white form. That's how I've seen him the most.
Yeah. There's always some sort of pretext there, some sort of like light anchor with that, but it really feels for once that we really kind of stepped out of that for a second. Even though the whole hint with Adam near the end, I think, gave a real wink to that. About
No, you're gonna go for that.
yeah, I'll take a
I,
quick swing at it. Let me take a quick
Here's the
swing at
thing.
it.
Before you do that, see, now I knew Thanos wasn't in this.
Right.
Um, I knew they were going to lay some groundwork, but they were telling a different story here. We're still a year out until that one.
It's still
And
time.
you would think that, and I think someone, if you don't really know what's going to be in this movie as far as characters, or if you don't read any of the news pieces that comes out about these things, maybe you do think, oh, we're going to see Thanos and he's gonna punch a guy in the face and knock his head off, and but no, I don't think we're going to see any of that until Infinity War Part 1, which I think is smart. This build-up for him has been crazy.
Yeah.
It's been, what, 8 years now? 8 years?
Yeah. Going
In
on.
the making. It'll be, it's going to be nuts, though. He's worth it. Unless they drop the ball, which I think not saying Marvel does things perfectly, but they do a lot of things right.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about it. The build-up for this has been insane. At the same time, it has not been overwhelming, which I think is the right way to do it.
Yeah.
But I think this movie does a good job of building some foundation. Okay, Adam Warlock, go for it.
Yeah, Adam Warlock. Really interesting hint line here, and also the potentially who could have one of the gems. Now, of course, that wasn't directly delivered to us in any way. Literally, the most we get is a name and a glimpse at a chamber. That's it. We don't actually get any sort of glimpse of the character itself. But as I was saying, really interesting hint at possibly the location of one of the last gems. B, Adam Warlock is a pretty darn powerful character.
Right. He plays a very important role, and again, this is the whole foundation thing. Very important role in the Infinity Gauntlet, and the Infinity series is after that. I was a little mad at myself for not realizing that was from the Sovereign. I'd forgotten.
Oh, hey, you're not the only one. I did too.
It wasn't until they showed that chamber and she was talking about the next evolution. I'm like, oh shit! Look at this right there, gold. Look at that shit.
Oh man, there you have it. So I was sort of looking for what's going to be that olive branch they extend, because you always have that in the Marvel movies, and also with that olive branch, most of the time you expect one large after credit scene or so, maybe one and a half if you think in the context of like the latest Captain America movie. But this was probably the jazziest credits I've seen. 5 scenes.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I hope they do that in all the movies going forward in some way. That was actually a lot of fun to sit through the credits. Normally it's like, all right, don't fall asleep until the next one's coming. Okay, that's fun. Look at all the names. All right. Yeah. No, these were fun. These were great. Yeah. I can see that being kind of an exclusive Guardians thing, but I hope not. I hope they do that in all of them. But yeah, 5. I don't think we're going to see 5 after credit scenes like we did tonight, though.
No, and that's something uniquely Guardians think that they're able to leverage and do, and it's a cool fun way to combine the end of a movie, the way we've got old school music and old school 70s 80s themes mixed in, and then of course all the characters.
Right. Well, it is the only. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it is the only Entourage movie besides the Avengers. So, I mean, you have other characters coming in other people's movies. They have a lot to tell. They have a lot of story to tell. These characters, none of them are bland. And again, that's the part of the strength of the movie. So they've got a lot to tell, and I thought they did a great job. Those after credit, it's kind of funny because like a lot of people obviously left after the movie was done. Most people stayed for the first credit, the second credit, then people started filing out, and I think by the end there was like maybe a dozen of us.
You would think people would get it by now. I don't know.
Right.
Maybe a lot of people still haven't delved into a lot of Marvel movies, but come on, you gotta stick through the end of the credits for these.
Right. They for a while they've been doing 2, but they've always, if I remember correctly, Marvel Studios themselves has always done one at the end.
Yeah.
They always do one at the end.
Yep. Yep.
So I don't know what to say. Hey, maybe they're just there to see Guardians. All right, hey, whatever. That's fine. You're not into the big giant universe thing. Um, action
Yeah.
scenes, little light on them.
Yeah. I agree. I mean,
I'm okay with it.
yeah, there's ones you expect. Space battles. Guardians is known for them, and
That was fun.
it was really fun. I gotta say, out of stuff we've seen in Marvel, I think these Guardians is nailing these as a hallmark. I love the ones in the first movie. Everything from the stuff near the end with the Nova Corps forming that shield to even when Thanos' trackers were hunting them down and then running into the Ravagers and everyone. Like all those scenes were awesome. And then in this one, that just continues. Again, even though you kind of had you mentioned the Sovereigns with their whole gamer style fleet, still awesome. The quantum asteroid belt that rocked.
Yeah.
That's such a ridiculous scenario that I mean you could just have massive space rocks and objects just kind of phasing in and out. Just popping up at random points was really cool. Also, of course, a really hilarious dispute between Quill and Rocket and during that whole situation, but really well done. Flowed real good. And the one near the end too, the battle on Ego, again where the Sovereign rejoined on that one. You got a great combination of the usage of pseudo superpowers and then the Sovereign fleet. The way they took out the Sovereign fleet was pretty sick. Gotta say the Rocket's little spherical orbital lasers really took me back to something you'd see out of like a mecha anime or something. Those were sick. Those were really cool. And again, the whole gadgetry. Rocket never ceases to make me smile with just the stuff he manages to break out. So,
Kurt Russell, what do you think?
Right? Oh man, see, that was another fun surprise because I really kept the who was going to be in this under wraps a lot looking into it, and then I get in and I see Kurt Russell. I'm like, oh my god, that's great. And then Kurt Russell, the throwbacks to David Hasselhoff.
Right, Hasselhoff was fun. That was crazy. I'm like, hey, look, there's all right, David Hasselhoff's in Guardians of the Galaxy. Was not expecting that.
Same here. But I thought Kurt Russell was a great pick.
No, he did a really good job. That guy does not do much wrong. He really doesn't. He's a great actor. For a character like Ego, and I don't know. I mean, I don't know the origins, the actual comic origins, but I know enough about Ego to know that that's a big role.
Oh yeah,
and that's he did it really well. He played a great villain. Marvel gets kind of panned for their villains, and rightfully so in some cases. This was a good one, though. This was a good one.
He was, especially a villain who dealt in projections so much, and this whole concept of placing the image of himself as many places as he possibly could, as his ultimate purpose, and to really absorb everything he could into that and duplicating that. You have it's kind of funny, you start off with something curious, goes semi-benevolent, pretty much turns into a megalomaniac, sociopath about most things. It really just has a just really obtrusive view and just says, everything else is just below me anyway. This is just all going to be towards a grander goal.
Right.
But that's cool. I think and it's important to have villains like that. Bear in mind, we're in the same universe, so we're talking massive entities like Dormammu, Thanos, and stuff. The super powerful, super serious intergalactic stuff, cool. Don't do it all the time, though. You need your villains that have a bit of the that seem they have a bit of a softer cause role or an origin that's a little more ambiguous. In Egos, I mean, really, it's just him, just for years and years and millennia, trying to find a purpose, and that becomes horribly twisted, of course, but it fits in Guardians great, and it's well told. So,
what did you think of Mantis?
Again, it's like if you could. I hope Mantis keeps playing off tracks in the future. It's funny. She was a character like that. You could really introduce and sort of drop as like the servant character to the main villain. But I thought even within that own limited sense, she really had her own development in two ways. It's her coming about realizing that she can be more than just that. She can be more than just Ego's footstool. That she can use her power to leverage it for something right. B, discovering more about herself through Drax as well. Even stumbling through it as she did. She really, it's funny. She's almost like the large Baby Groot in this. Baby Groot's a baby. Well, you know what happened to him. It's, that miniaturized, but she's really miniaturized, in mind and heart. She hasn't experienced stuff. I mean, Ego took her from a larval state and just sort of treated her like a pet. So how is she going to know the ways of different worlds? Mastering, social interaction. She's awkward as I don't know what, but as she should be. And I think that works. It's an awkwardness that's sensible, but I think the amount of growth she has with that, I think fits good. So fun character.
She was a good piece for the movie as a whole. I mean, she's never going to be a main character.
No.
I would say that she's the weakest out of all of the characters, but that's all right. She was more of a tool than anything, and the actress did a good job. I don't know her name, but it was good. It was good. She did exactly what she should.
Yeah, no, for sure. And a lot of the times, at least from just Marvel Comics and similar characters like this, this is normally a character I usually expect to appear, be on scene, sort of vanish while all the main action happens, and then they're sort of left without a purpose at the end, and then they make a decision from there what to do. So, the cool thing I think about her is we had that middle portion. Again, most times I expect a character like this, I expect beginning introduction, phase out, and you see him at the end.
Right. Yondu dying.
Yeah.
So surprised or not?
Not surprised.
Not surprised. Yeah, I was surprised. Now that goes to my knowledge of the comic again, which is very little, but I do know that he is a Guardian for quite a while. It's not such a. I don't even know if he's dead. To be honest with you,
yeah.
But he dies here.
Yeah. I think definitively, heroically, and I go back to that scene I pointed out. The start about his standing within the Ravager community. I mean, as short as and brief as that was, I mean, at least that just yelled out, all right, he's going to have to do something drastic, or something drastic will have to happen for him to get that send-off that he dreams of, or to get that type of respect that he wants. And like, he's going to have to go through something large. And I said, I didn't know if that at that time, I'm not going to be in the called it camp, because I didn't. But that's instantly a feather I kind of put in my hat and said, okay, that I get it. That could be a thing. We'll see. So
yeah, and of course his what do you call that? That fin. That fin is
yeah,
awesome.
that fin rocks.
The last one. It was awesome here.
That thing just tore up that ship. Like
it was a great scene.
It was a great scene. Really powerful weapon, of course, and then combine that with Rocket. Teaming up with his gadgets and everything, they just made a mess of the place. Pretty awesome. And by the way, that's a really fun thing. Guardians 1 did this too, and they carried it on. One thing I love are these scenes of these sort of just badass, slow walk, let's waste everything scenes, and they work. They work so well, I was just thinking of the prison break scene from the first one, when the Guardians all team up together with the Infinity Stone also. And then you have these moments here, except it's funny, you got Rocket Raccoon, Yondu, and then it pans down to Groot. And again, it's going into a serious action scene, but it puts that humor element in it, like, oh my god, Groot, like, just him standing like that with everybody else is pretty funny. So, yeah.
Teenage Groot, that was hilarious.
Oh, that was great. Probably one of, I think, my favorite scene. One of my favorite scenes out of the parts near the end. Not just confirmation that, yeah, he's growing up and everything, but he's just got this whole attitude now. He's come up as listen to music, gaming and everything else. He just has that teenage attitude. Fun. Really fun.
Yeah. That was cool to see. I was hoping that they would prelude to something like that. Yeah. Now there was something else I was going to bring up, but I can't remember what it was. We talked about this a little bit earlier. Well, actually, before I say that, was there any other notes about the movie that you really want to touch on?
Is I think we've pretty much hit most of the most major scenes in the building, but go on. I think you're good.
Yeah, so one of the things that came out this week was something because they're already planning for Guardians of the Galaxy 4. And that shouldn't surprise anyone. Marvel does think ahead by years. One of the things that came out was that maybe the cast is going to be completely different.
Yeah, yeah. A couple of ways. Hey, that very well may play in to post the ending of the next Avengers. After Infinity Wars. I think one of the things we'll have to do is ask, what state will the Guardians be in after that? Who is it a matter of someone taking up the mantle? Is it a matter of that, being passed beforehand? We'll see. But
Now one thing I do know is that the cast in the comics has changed and always does change. That's actually something that they're playing off with the Avengers as well, which is something that's kind of always evolving. If I don't know if evolve is the proper word, but the cast within the crew
right,
does change a lot. I think that's very ballsy of them. If they replace everybody, uh, that's gonna be one hell of a story to tell.
yeah,
I don't know if they can do that though. I don't know. Yeah, that's a bit daring. That
that
is a bit daring. I don't know if the audience is gonna like that, and I don't know if they can pull it off. I almost want to see them do it now just to see if they can pull it off.
yeah, and transitionally, most of the time when that happens, even at a bare minimum, there's somebody from the original team, somebody around to at least stay there or to anchor it or sort of make the transition. But
Right.
that's not even guaranteed here. I don't know. Um, but I think that's going to drastically depends on what happens in the MCU as a totality, and of course what happens during Infinity War. So
All right. So, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, rate it 1 to 10.
I'm going to give it a solid 8.
You're going to give it an 8?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been thinking about this. I think right now, I might change in the future. I really enjoyed this. I don't even know if this ranks in a top 10. Definitely not in a top 5. I had a really good time with this. Again,
Yeah.
this was just a lot of fun, and it was just a good movie. There's a couple spots where I thought the editing was a little bad, but overall the directing was great. The pace was great. Obviously, the score and the soundtrack was really good. The acting's phenomenal. I can't think of many places where it missed the mark.
Yeah.
There's a couple. I'm gonna give it a 9.
Awesome.
It's up there, and one or two things is gonna happen with this thing. I think as time goes on for me, I'm either gonna continue to as I continue to watch it, I'm going to see more flaws, and it'll either drop down drastically for me, or as I watch it, I'm going to end up loving it more.
Yeah, it's going to depend. Right now it's one of those for me. I can see maybe going to 7 status, depending on what's surrounding it. But it's a fun ride, and again, it can't be stressed more in where we're heading in MCU as a whole. When you look at all these movies, you need a movie like this, or you need at least a couple like this to really help kind of recenter you and give you another fresh take on everything.
Right.
So. Way to go,
All
Marvel.
right.
Way to go.
Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. Marvel does it again. Definitely, especially from their last movie, Doctor Strange, which was a fine movie.
Right.
They're similar to Guardians. They're kind of pulling from some of the more niche elements of the Marvel universe. I don't think Doctor Strange hits it quite as well. But
Right.
yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy, great way to start off the summer movies. Great way to get back in the swing of watching Marvel movies, the first of 4 this year. So, yeah, it's going to be nuts. I believe Spider-Man is next in 2 months.
Yes, coming out in July. If I'm telling you, if I could make a midnight showing of that, I would. I think that and Thor Ragnarok are just so high up there on my list to see right now. I can't place them on a higher pedestal, especially Spidey. But
Yeah,
we'll see.
that's your favorite. That's one of my favorites too.
Absolutely, absolutely, and it's just fun. Like there's something I've found in each of the major live action series we've seen so far, and I kind of feel like I'm on this ride. Because I've read Sensational Spider-Man, The Amazing Spider-Man, Spectacular Spider-Man, and Ultimate Spider-Man, and I always, when I sit down and watch these, I'm kind of making that connection. Which of those universes does this feel closest to? And it's a joyride. So I can't wait to see what they're going to do with this one, and couldn't be cooler.
Did you get a chance to read Scarlet Spider?
No.
Oh, I am not. I am. All right, it just came out like in the last couple of weeks. I don't
Right.
think it came out this week. It came out the week before. We'd been talking about that a little bit. I'm gonna because I know you're busy and I've been super busy too. You need to go spend $4 and get that.
Okay, deal.
You need to do it. It's crazy. It's crazy fun. I mean, it's not the best comic I've ever read. It's a lot of fun. If you're a fan of Spider-Man, if you're a fan of all that crazy clone stuff, it's fun. It's a good time.
All right.
It's a good read. It had me laughing a couple times. It's very sadistic. It's very crazy. Ben Reilly dealing with the fact that he's a clone. He's a bit more twisted now, and I won't get into all that. But yeah, you need to read it. Anyone's interested in that stuff, you got to read it. Good stuff.
Sweet.
I do hope that at some point a Spider-Man franchise can get itself so ingrained that they can start playing with the clone stuff. That's a little tough for them to play with. There's so many other characters and stories to get to.
Yeah.
I mean, it's always going to be lower on the list than a lot of those other things. But I would really like to see somebody take that on at some point.
Same. If we're on the topic of Marvel, this ties into my rant. But
okay. Yeah.
Ties into my rant, but this is, I think, it's an important point because so much news has come out about this within the last couple of weeks. This is gaming. I'm referring to Marvel Vs. Capcom Infinite. A lot of fans lovingly call MVC4, nicknaming that in my mind as well.
My favorite series. No, but it's fine. It's good. It's fine.
Yeah, one thing with the MVC series is that it's simple. It's the crossover series. This isn't overdrawn for plot, huge amounts of drama, or making some ridiculous connection. No. I mean, heck, it started off with the idea, hey, let's get Marvel and Capcom together. There you go. I do find it kind of funny this time that there is much more of a stretch to try to make this connect and explain the whole crossover and the why and everything else, which is funny to me because I'm saying, Capcom, don't even bother doing that at this point. We just need an excuse to get Mega Man versus Ryu, and we're going to leave it at that. But anyway, hey, they go for it. And the reason I highlight that is because Ultron is a primary villain in this. Of course, someone that we've seen right out of the Avengers films. And the whole idea is that he merges with Sigma from the Capcom universe, aka the main villain of the Mega Man X series. And the whole idea is they're trying to collapse all organic life. But besides that, there's some other plot points and expounding on. I was really surprised at this, that Marvel are even bothering. Not just for the history that the series has established and everything else, but it's just, I don't know, it's kind of funny to see this. And even using some of the major spots, I think we've seen there's like an Asgard stage and a number of others. A lot of places that's taking some heavy pages right out of MCU here. And honestly, I always felt MVC sort of belonged in more of a comic-esque, toony realm.
Well, that's for obvious reasons.
Obviously, it always felt weird if this sort of crosses over more into like MCU territory. They're not fully going there, obviously, but this is definitely way closer to that than any of the other iterations have been.
Well, okay, so let me stop you because
Yeah.
I don't know much about Marvel vs. Capcom at all. I mean, does this exist in its own kind of alternate universe where superheroes and Street Fighter heroes and villains are in the same world, or is there like stories where like these universes collide in some way? What is the background to this, or are they just mashing heroes together?
Background is the universes are always colliding in some way or another. For example, the world as it exists, the two don't naturally exist side by side. Marvel vs. Capcom 2, I think, is a great example. That involved a villain called the Abyss, and Thanos was in that as well. He wielded all the Infinity Gems too. But you had some pretty potent forces like that as a reason for the merging of the realms. Here, it's this strange merger between Sigma and Ultron, kind of breaking down barriers and forcing the worlds together again. So no, I don't
Okay.
think. Yeah, I don't think they just exist together. There's some cause. There's always some trigger. So
So they're using a Mega Man villain, though.
yeah,
That is surprising.
it is. It is. I think the one they picked makes sense to pair alongside Ultron. I'm sorry, Dr. Wily. I wouldn't be feeling that they did that. Or any of the regular Mega Man villains, Proto Man. Please don't give me any Cut Man or any of that stuff. No, that doesn't work either. Uh, in context with the X series, Sigma was just the hard to kill. He did not die. He digitized himself. He was a virus at one point. Almost unkillable. And I think he fits pretty well alongside Ultron. And he's a complete maniac too. So
All right. So you said that you have a bone to pick here. So far, I'm not hearing your bone picking.
I'm getting there.
All right.
You gotta. It's like the hot wings. I've gone through the sauce. I'm knocking down the meat. You get into the bone, and you gotta gnaw on that bone.
Get on the bone.
So, we got a release date. For anybody who hasn't seen it, it's going to be out Tuesday, September 19th. A lot of new characters have been previewed. Now it's their combos shown, including Chun-Li, good old Chris from Resident Evil, back again, Hulk, Thor, Hawkeye, of course Rocket Raccoon, making a show, Mega Man X, and the Ultron/Sigma fusion. The gameplay itself is looking a lot closer to MVC1. I can dig that because I love MVC1 and 2. This is really important too for the playstyle, like the way your light punches and kicks work. The structure of that is way different in MVC 1 and 2 compared to what they did with MVC 3, as far as how you build your combos and you do launchers. Namely, because starting your aerial combos, for example, doing that launcher will require something different for each character. It's not the same like in MVC 3. You just go into a launcher combo and it's more of a generic setup. You do that on the controller, but narrowing this down. We got there's pre-order bonuses, Warrior Thor and Evil Ryu costumes. Not really too concerned about that. And then we have the additions. You got the standard release, $60, and then you got the deluxe, which is $90. And for that, you get all 6 post-launch fighters, the DLC characters, and 6 premium costumes. All right, this is what made me slam my pen down on the table. You know that there will be a Marvel Vs. Capcom Infinite Hyper Super Gold Collector's Edition Platinum Chrome Plated that is going to include everything else anyway. And it bothers me to no end that Capcom continue to do these kind of releases where you have, there's this DLC. You know everyone's going to want to play these characters anyway. Just give them to us out the box. That drives me mad. In VC2, when that was first released, you had the 56 characters, perfect split between Marvel and Capcom, and you had everyone playable. Okay, you had to do some unlocks, but you did that by playing the game. Please let us just play the game and just leave it at that. Besides, all the rest of this DLC stuff. And I understand the model. A lot of people railed against this when it was an MVC3 because, of course, later Ultimate MVC3 came out, rolled all this in anyway. There's a collector's edition that's slightly. I get it a little more. It's $200. It's going to have statues of characters from Marvel and Capcom, including Mega Man X, Chun-Li, Iron Man, Captain Marvel. A lot of extras that.
Wait. I mean, I might have had too many Reese's Pieces.
No.
Did you say there's a $200 collector's edition?
Yeah. $200.
That's ridiculous. Is
$200.
Is it limited quantity?
They didn't even comment. And I probably not. I mean,
I could see that if it's like, you're super nerd fan where there's going to be like 1,000 of them or like a couple thousand of them.
But
okay, what do you besides action figures and statues? What do you get for this super ultra mega collector's edition? This $200 version. Does Chun-Li come and hand it to you herself?
The only other things besides that, you get the rest of the stuff that was in the deluxe edition. I mentioned that was the DLC, all 6 post-launch fighters, the 6 premium costumes, and then you get a set of Infinity Stone replicas.
That's dumb.
I just,
because that's the first. I have not even heard you say anything about Thanos for this game yet.
No, I haven't even seen it. I don't even know if he appears in it.
That is obviously trying to play off the popularity of the movies, which is okay because it's Marvel versus Capcom.
Right.
I mean, are you even premiering Thanos? Does the storyline seem like it even has to do with the Infinity Gauntlet?
No, it's much more about. It's reminding me of actually of Avengers 2. Just with the way that feels with what Ultron was trying to do. It's similar. And that,
So is there like the glove and it's holding your copy of Marvel vs. Capcom 4? That would actually be pretty
I
cool.
mean, hey, I agree. If we had some kind of gauntlet, and I love how you're trying to find something within that. Don't worry, I am too. But no, that's it. And look, this absolutely does not justify the cost. Like, okay, look, I'll give an example of something Capcom did that roughly around a similar range or a little less. That was a lot more sensible, and that's the Street Fighter like 25th anniversary. Cleric, great friend of ours, was cool enough to pick up a copy of that for me, about a couple years back. And yeah, it had like one kind of like reused statue to it, but there was art behind that. There was the soundtrack. There was like making ofs. There were a lot of really cool pieces that played into the history of it. That said, all right, this feels like a box set of something. That's cool. But this, it really just feels like a grab, and I'm sad about that. I mean, Capcom knows the popularity of this series now. I mean, it's still one of the most viewed tournaments at Evo. Period. MVC has ruled the roost for something a lot of people love to tune into each year in competitive fighting games. And it's doing nothing but getting bigger. MVC 3 is huge, rolling off the popularity of 2. And I know this is going to be big as well. It's going to go right in the main fighting circuit. Daigo and others have, already get a chance to practice this stuff, but it's rough, man. And I can't find anything that would make me want to go out and get that $200 edition, let alone the $90 edition.
Well, yeah, I mean, especially like I could go down to like the mall or something and go and buy some Bejeweled stuff, and it looks like the freaking Infinity Gems. Take a glove and just do. I don't know. It probably wouldn't look as good. Probably wouldn't look. It'd probably be closer than it should, though. Okay, so let's take it back to these different versions.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to do a compare and contrast. Mortal Kombat X, which was wildly popular. So they came out with an XL version.
Right.
Here's the thing, and this is why I'm asking this, because as we know, Capcom's notorious for coming out with different versions of the game, and you have to buy those different versions. A lot of that, the vast majority of that was before the days of DLC.
Right.
So what I like that Mortal Kombat did, or Neither Realm Studios, I should say, what they did with Mortal Kombat was they got ready for the XL version. You didn't have to buy the XL version. You could DLC all the new stuff.
Right.
You didn't have to buy a whole new game. If you wanted to, you could. It was a good jumping on point if you hadn't gotten X yet. But you didn't have to, and I didn't. I mean, I have all the stuff. I got all the characters, all the things and skins and all that stuff. But I didn't have to buy a new game.
Right.
Are they going to make you buy a new game, or can you just DLC this stuff?
I mean, it's for the characters, for as far as who's going to be selectable.
Well, for whatever the super mega awesome friendly version is going to be.
Oh. If they're keeping in line with, and from what I see, they are with the way they've released things historically and the way this is set up. You're free to download. You will not be tied to, for example, having to get the deluxe edition to get access to said characters. You can do that on a separate basis.
But you're upset in general that you're not getting all the characters right away.
Absolutely.
Now, is that from a competitive standpoint, or is that because I want it and I want it now?
Definitely not from a competitive standpoint. I'm fine with stuff being locked. I would really just rather have things there ready to go, and you play the game and you achieve goals there, and then you unlock that way. I mean, I've always felt that's a fair demand. Call me old-fashioned behind that, but
I wish some games would do more of that now. One of the few things that I come away from with Tekken was that you bought the game, but as you went through, you basically doubled your game.
Yep.
Tekken, I think, was the best at that.
Yep.
And a lot of people copied it, and rightfully so. It was very popular for fighting games. But so what? I mean, are you stingy?
What is in do it? Is it I want the best
You
of
don't
both
want
worlds?
to. Is it that you don't want to spend money on these characters, or is it that you want them right away?
It's both. You
It's
know,
both. Oh,
I
all right.
think
I can't agree with you on this.
yeah, I think you know, I look at MVC2 for example as a model. I wish they were something accessible off the bat, but hey, no,
Have they given prices yet?
no, not that
Okay.
I can
Well,
see.
so I will reserve judgment then until they give the prices.
That's something I'm
Um,
leery of, too, but
yeah.
we'll see.
And I don't know how they are with that. You've told me a couple stories about how bad Capcom's been with some of their DLC
Yeah,
stuff. I don't think we talked about price on that, but I you know I hey, I can't I don't think I can agree. I enjoyed the fact that Mortal Kombat came out with different characters as time went on, different skins as time went on. The skins are a little bit different, but let's just talk about the characters. I enjoyed that. It added a little something extra. I mean, when you are a fighting game player,
hmm
competitive or serious or casual, you know you're gonna burn through these characters. If you're a completionist
right.
and you go through with all of them and you get all their endings or you unlock all the secret characters, I think it's kind of cool that they're adding new stuff in. I mean, I to this day, and we're talking about a decade now of DLC content for games. I hated the fact that one of my biggest gripes about games was when you bought that game, that's all you got.
Yeah, a non-expandable game.
Right, and so you know, can and do companies abuse this? Oh yeah. Oh my god. Again, I'm going to point right over to what's that one that came out on Xbox? Oh crap. The
Killer Instinct.
Killer Instinct. What a fucking joke. Jesus, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But so I'll point at that, and I'll point it with my index finger, and then I'll flip them off. But yeah, so tell me, how have they abused this in the past? Because you seem concerned about this. How have they abused this in the past?
Yeah, well, it's just the rollout with the way I think things have been done. It's felt that as characters are released and as more things are released, that you're nickeled and dimed so much and so often that you really just, well, you know, why can't this be part of one compilation? And here's one thing I'm going to highlight. This is less about not wanting an expandable game than it is at least with your vision for characters at the launch. That's the thing I at least want access to.
Okay, so is it that you think they're being stingy? Like they're like,
Yes.
okay,
When
we're going to give you Spider-Man, but we're going to hold off on Venom. Is it
Yeah,
that kind of
yeah,
thing?
yeah. I mean, when I say access, look, everything you have off the bat, that's the stuff I want to be accessible. If you're gonna add to that game later, awesome. I'm all for that, and I'll go with it. But at least the stuff at the very start, come on, you know, give us all that. Don't put that behind your back. We already know it's there. I think, again, it could be a minority in this, but I think that's shorthand. But
So they're like holding off on key characters. So again, putting this in the context of Mortal Kombat, this would be like them releasing the game and not releasing Scorpion.
pretty much,
Is it that bad? Because that would be horrible.
yeah. It's, you know, I know from the passion I have about it, I'm curious what some of you out there think about this, but I know I've always had very strong feelings on this. It's always felt we just been a little bit out of what we should be having like off the bat. I mean, you have the obvious ones like, you know, thank goodness you don't have to do something weird for Wolverine and Ryu. I mean, they're like anchors. At least they have been, you know, for the NBC
Hmm.
series. But it's just it's awkward, and it's something I really hope doesn't make a
So
continuous
is it as
trend.
bad as like they'll make Ken a DLC?
Could happen. I have not seen him announced as part of the roster.
That's pretty
Yeah.
bad.
So I mean, here, let me put this in the context of something recent too.
Okay.
Street Fighter Five. There was some really near the end of last year, some really controversial DLC about that. So um, during the Capcom Pro Tour, which is like kind of like one of the big events on the road to Evo, there was this. They made this package called the SF5 Capcom Pro Tour Premier Package. It gave you 3 new costumes: one for Chun Li, one for Cammy, one for Kali. That round up to about it was 20 20 pounds, about $40. At the same time, Capcom said, hey, a portion of that will go towards the prize pool for Capcom Cup 2016. But even still, most SF5 players railed against that for being way too overpriced for what it was. And look, the pricing is one of the things that comes into it for what you're actually getting. I mean, costumes, I'm not going to pay $40-$50 for costumes.
Good Lord, what expected you to pay $40 for costumes?
Thank you very much. And it's the
I'd
whole
pay like $5 for costumes if they weren't free.
Yeah, and the whole idea is, hey, do this, like, you'll be supporting the, like, Capcom Pro Tour, if you, like, it's like,
God.
You guys, don't make us do that. You've already got enough backing behind it. You don't need to dip.
Again, MKX did do that. It was like a silver skin for Sub-Zero. I think it was literally $1 or $2. And so, I mean, that's okay. And they said for this specific skin, the money for this is going specifically to our national tournaments.
Right.
That's kind of cool. That's like,
right.
All right, we're donating to the cause of heavy competition for this game. That's kind of cool. Do they make you buy bundles, or can you buy things individually?
That was a bundle.
What I'm asking is, like, would they release the stuff that wasn't a bundle? Would they release that individually and make you pay like $1 for it, or $2, or maybe a small group for $5 or something like that? Or did you have to buy a ridiculous $40 bundle to get like most of the stuff that was in it?
To my knowledge, that there was no, because of the special promotion, you had to get it within that context.
That's dumb. I don't like Capcom. I'm not a big fan of Capcom anyways, but not anymore. I mean, they have Resident Evil, which has been very hit or miss. 7 looks awesome. That's on my list to get this year. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's part of the bait concept. Going back to this, like, if I just paid $60 or $70 to get an opening title, but yet there's DLC for an extra $15 or $20 that I'm going to want to have anyway to use said characters. It's like, that's the kind of thing that I always felt really comes across as a cash grab. Whereas it's like, well, can't you just package this in one, and if you're going to alter the price there, do it instead of thanks for 70, 20 more. Everything else. It's like, come on, man. Like,
see, I think part of what, again, I'm going to keep pointing to MKX. Part of what was cool about what they did is, like, they came out with extra characters, they came out with extra skins. Obviously, no one needs extra skins to enjoy the gaming experience. The characters they came out with, very niche. Obviously, some people loved them. Some of them were but most of them were very fun. None of them were critical. None of them. I think the closest one that was critical were the cyborgs, which you basically got 4 characters in one with that thing, because you had Sub-Zero, Smoke, Cyrax, and Sector. They were all there. And every other character was just the one character with the 3 different fighting styles. The rest of them were very like, okay, well, that was a side character and part of the story, but it wasn't like, it's like, again, it wasn't a situation was like, well, okay, we're gonna make you pay $20 for Scorpion 6 months down the line. It wasn't anything like that. It's like, here's some added content. Here, and it was cool. It's, you know what, Capcom can eat a butt.
Yeah, and then coming all the way back up to current. Here's one of my huge worries. Here is you don't even know everything that you're getting. The whole idea with the rest of the DLC roster is that, okay, we get a starting roster, sight unseen, $60 of everything. I'm sure there's going to be some more leaks, as this would happen in MVC3. The closer we got to the release date, the more character releases we got, and we got individual trailers and stuff. But then you're asked to pony up an additional like $25, $30 or so, and there's sometimes not even like a full look at, hey, here's everything that's coming. It's sort of DLC pack, go, mystery bag.
How's the community for specifically this game? How are they reacting to what they're seeing?
Some of the things I've read, and this has been on Polygon, Destructoid, a few other spots, is the reaction is sort of, here we go again. People are leery about doing the pre-order for some of these very reasons, and really want to see how this hashes out. Like, okay, what exactly are we getting? What's the exact launch going to stand out as? And that we're just now starting to get some, as the last literally week or so, getting some new gameplay and stuff like that. People are a little kind of reserved about this one, and Hey, from what I've read, rightfully so.
So, by the way, when you told me it's September release date, you know what's going to blow your mind?
Hmm.
4 months away.
Yeah.
Doesn't that blow your mind when you said,
Yeah.
like, holy crap, that's 4 months away?
Yeah.
Where the hell is this year going?
Yeah.
4 months away. How is Capcom with their release dates? Will they meet it?
From what I've seen, unless there's a meteorite coming or there's something really catastrophic they need to adjust, they'll meet it.
Oh,
From
that's
what I've
right.
seen.
I'm sorry. I take that back. I actually know that Capcom will make their release date. They make no guarantee on the quality of their game. That's right. That's right. I mean, I don't even pay attention to these kind of fighting games, and I heard about Street Fighter V.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I
Good
mean,
God.
it will
That was
release.
a dumb question.
No, it's all right, man. It will release, but in the state, that's questionable.
Yeah. Good God. I'm sorry, man. Look, here's the thing. These things, I don't need to tell you this, but these things are all done to make money. That is the point of all of it. I mean, there are creators and designers who do this from an artistic standpoint, but from the people who make the decisions, it's all about money. Are they going to show you respect? That's the question. That's really the question. Are they going to be respectful of their fan base? And it really sounds like from even the point that I just made. I mean, they released Street Fighter V. They didn't care how crappy that was. Shit, but hey,
Yeah.
we're going to meet our release date. All right, good stuff. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, people, if I sound really tired too. I don't know. I'm just kind of leaning back in my chair, just talking. But yeah, you're keeping us updated on this one. I don't have a horse in this race. Let's talk about some positives though. Does it look beautiful? Does it look like it's going to play well? Does this, despite their cash grab, does it look like you're going to enjoy this game?
Looks fun. Again, one of the things I'm most excited about is the layout being very similar to MVC 1 and 2. You played both these games differently. They had a spectacularly different feel to them because, I mean, one thing was your aerial launchers, which were such an important part of your combo toolkit. This got even more enhanced in MVC3. When you go for a launcher and then you tag in and continue combos and everything. If you really want to get the most out of combos, you're going to have to know each character's specifics, and I think that's cool. That really brings people along to kind of really tailor crafting into characters they enjoy and really showing some slick custom stuff. Now, on the other hand, there will be easy mode combos you can do, sort of like the pre-built, hold through a simple button and you get a combo off of that, but they will be nowhere near the power scale of combos that you simply do and that you input properly. Some fans are railing about that, saying, there shouldn't be anything easy mode you press and do. Look, we'll see. I'm willing to wait a bit on that one, and surely because I know how much the control scheme's changing, I'm very happy about that. When I've seen it flows pretty fast, looks like gameplay is going to be nice and tight. The tag system is getting changed up, a little bit revamped.
Tag systems are always fun.
Oh, they are, and this is part of what was awesome about MVC always. One thing though was funny is if you tagged at the wrong time because you basically took close to 2x damage for whoever was tagging it, you get blown up really hard because if you tagged in someone at the wrong time and they got nailed by a triple team super, that was it. So while you don't have as much of that instant mash, triple team supers, there's a lot more cool play now between the tag system, who you call in, being able to make your combos continuous, being able to connect your tag moves. I think that's really cool. Tags before are more of kind of like a one-off, e.g. you call a character and they do a special. Or you call a character and they do a super combo. That's about it. Or you might have a counter assist or something, but no, go on.
Do you have a main picked out yet? You already got your main?
I always, in the MVC series, I main Spider-Man all the time, all day long. MVC3 is the one that I played the least out of all three games. I just didn't get it. Yeah, I did. See, you got the web sounds. Now I need the impact web ball sound too. That's going to be a thing too. But
nerd.
I didn't get into 3 as much. I love watching it. I tune in each year on Evo and everything, of course. But playing in Spider-Man is a main. Seconds, I don't know. I got pretty amped. I see Strider Hiryu's back again as a 3-man team. I'm already sketching out something like Strider, Spider-Man, Mega Man X. We'll see where it goes.
Oh, you already know your second's going to be Mega Man. You're such a fan for Mega Man.
It's Mega Man X.
Mega Man.
X brought me into the Mega Man fold. Like
Spider-Man and Mega Man.
I need one more. Man.
Wolverine.
No,
Claw. I don't know. I've never played these games.
No.
They're always going to have him in there. I don't know. Who's your favorite X-Men?
From
that series.
From that series, I'm gonna have to give that to Storm. She's awesome in these games, and I really like how she plays too.
There it is. There's your team. All right, you don't have a choice. That's your team now. You have to go with it. We'll get Bass Pro Shot to sponsor you.
Okay, opening night, you're on.
That's your team. You're gonna have to go to. You're gonna have to fight in competitions and just lose.
I don't know.
Are you good at it? Have you ever considered going competition? Going pro?
Not with MVC3 at all.
No?
If back in 2, I think if I kept practicing that pretty hard, I would have been glad to play that competitive. But yeah, not with 3 and beyond. I'm gonna see how this one feels. With the way Marvel games play now, in all likelihood, and probably this one too, I'm gonna enjoy it as something I play with my friends online and everything. I don't think I'm gonna go too crazy with this, but
all right, cool.
But hey, you know what? Let me blow off some of that steam with an info minute. Can I get an info minute?
Ian's info minute. do we have a jingle yet?
Not yet.
Oh, okay. Ba-doop, boop, ba-doop, boop, ba-doop, boop. There you go.
Thank you. Tonight's piece of info that I ran across is actually we're going to go back kind of old school with this, and this goes back to medicine in the 19th century, and specifically I'm talking about cough syrup.
Wait a second.
Yeah.
Did you just say we're going to talk about 19th century cough medicine?
Yep.
Oh my God! All right.
So
continue. I wanted to make sure I heard that. Continue.
So, an actual ingredients used is before there was a case. I was looking through ResearchGate about this in 1934, before it was banned by the FDA. There was a cough syrup brand called One Night, and the ingredients therein were I'm not kidding, alcohol, cannabis, chloroform, some what's the relaxer, morphia, and a bit of sulfur. Top that off.
Holy God!
But I mean, I'm just looking at this and I say, I understand, back then there were some things that could put some chest hair on you, but good gracious,
that is a weekend of delight right there. I mean, that is somebody's whole freaking weekend on a bender. That is the cocktail for the stoner's dreams right there. Wow. That was an actual thing. People bought that. That was in Walgreens.
Absolutely. You could just regularly go out and get this mixed with the morphine and everything else you needed right there in one bundle. This would knock you out so hard. I can't even imagine. No wonder you'd relax after that.
My God, yeah, that's not cough medicine. That's freaking knockout juice right there. Jesus, that's awesome.
But yeah, man, I mean, you compare that to NyQuil today. I mean, hey, have fun with that.
Oh. Yeah, and some places still lock that stuff up too. It's crazy.
So it just kind of made me smile. We're so up in arms today about, we're talking about the debate of medical marijuana, the shops and everything, and of course the ingredients that are included in all our medicines today and what the FDA approves and doesn't approve. This is what you had back then, folks.
That is awesome. Where did it go? Why did it stop? I mean, there's obvious reasons why it stopped, but what's the story behind it? Do you know?
As far as the little I do know about it is the FDA had made a ruling that the claims of the therapeutic properties was way too misleading, based off of what was actually included, and as a result, especially the agents that were used, and of course, additional exposure to chloroform can lead to cancer. It was ruled as too dangerous in one package for human consumption.
Yeah, well, they were right.
Yeah.
They were always, who made this stuff?
The maker. I just have the mark, and I'm trying to look at the manufacturer behind it.
Made by Johnson and Johnson.
Johnson and Johnson. No, I'm still digging for that. I just got the brand, and I was looking at the case behind it, but this actually did exist, and you're more than welcome to go check that out. That's again One Night trademark cough syrup.
That's awesome. That's probably nowadays. I don't even think these kind of people exist anymore. The traveling salesmen with their family recipes for things and stuff like
Yeah.
in the old bottles, and yeah, it's wow. That's awesome. That's all. Hey man, old school. They did some stuff right. So it's still really surprising. Though. You said that was in the 1930s.
The early 1900s, right?
Oh, okay. So now, okay, yeah. So it's surprising though that cannabis is in there, because the fight against cannabis started in the 20s. And I think even a little bit earlier, but it really became huge in the 20s and 30s. So, well, then maybe that's why it stopped in 1934.
Could. Very well could.
Yeah, all right. So you can't buy that, kids.
Please don't.
There you go. You're missing out. I guess, find it. What's it called? What was it called again?
One Night cough syrup.
One night, one night cure all, yeah. Pretty much. One night cough syrup. Go look it up online and make your own. I'm just kidding. I don't recommend that. That was obviously taken off the shelf for a reason.
Man.
Yeah. So, there you
all
go. Right. Was that our only info minute?
Yeah, that's what I got.
There you are, Ian's info minute. You have to make a jingle. I'm sick of that. I'm sick of doing that now.
Okay.
It's like 3 weeks now.
I got to admit, part of the fun of stretching out is just having you do that. That's just touches my heart. I don't
like it. I don't like it. I just heard Ian promise we'll have a Ian info minute jingle next week. That's what I just heard.
I think Chris is reading a little too much into the situation, just like the whole Rogue One thing, which I do have now. I have Rogue One. I have it.
No, don't tell me you have it, because you saying that you have it, it means that you haven't watched it.
I have, but it. All right. Next time we talk, I will have it watched.
I own it.
Hey, it's better. It's better than previous weeks, right? Hey, come on. It's a step. It's a step in the right way. He won't even give me that.
Yeah. There you go. The next step is to put it in the DVD player. Those steps usually go together.
Baby steps. I am Groot.
Yeah. I am. You know what? Thinking about that a little bit more, yeah. I'm glad that we're only going to have one movie with Baby Groot, because that could just be too fucking much.
It could. It could be overwhelming. I think because of what happened in the first movie, because of where we had it, I think it's enough development for now. But you don't have to keep that going.
Yeah, no, I think it's good. They did all the good stuff with it. They did all the right stuff with it, but I wouldn't want to see Baby Groot again and again.
Yeah.
Give us Groot. All right. Okay. Was there anything else?
That's all.
I don't have notes this week.
Hey, no, that's all. That's all I got, people.
All right.
Of course, hey, toss us a like, a favorite, comment, or subscribe. You're more than welcome to drop us a line. That's ksawmedia@gmail.com. Tell us what you think, or if you ran into something cool during May the 4th, or if you're hyped for Star Wars, or if you got a rant of your own about Marvel vs. Capcom, tongue twister.
Or anything else. If you want us to talk about anything else, just send us an email or comment. Go ahead, please like and follow and all that stuff. That's going to help out. We're really, we've been doing this for I think about a dozen shows now or so.
Yep.
And we're really going to start pushing things and up in some of the production and stuff like that. It's something that we're going to move forward with. So, but getting those likes, getting those shares, getting the follows, that's obviously going to help us with that. So if you're liking the content, show us. Let us know. Or if you hate it, let us know too. One way or the other. If you think there's something that needs to be changed, except for me leaving, I'm not going anywhere. But feel free to complain about me.
Please do. But till then,
yes, please do.
Yeah, please. This guy, maybe you can get unshackled here, man.
All right. So before we go, I want you to buy me some time here.
Yeah.
I want to see what the next big movie is. I think it's Aliens. I think it's Aliens Covenant.
Yeah, well,
Or is
there's
that Alien Covenant?
you know what? I'll give you a pass on that. Either way, I get it. Plural, singular. You got Alien Covenant, and I know the Dark Tower. I was just seeing that posters for it on my way out of the theater tonight. Again, that was the whole Stephen King books we were talking about. I hadn't read them myself. Heard a lot of good things.
With a trailer.
Yeah. But that's pretty imminent as well. But yeah, as far as the next thing to tune in to in theaters, I think it's going to be Alien Covenant.
May 19th.
Wasn't Wonder Woman soon as well?
No, I don't think Wonder Woman's for a while.
That's still a ways off. Okay.
Oh no, now you got to buy me some more time.
All right, man. And of course, with that, Justice League is even further off. But
November for that one.
Got it.
For Justice League.
Okay.
Okay, June 2nd. So that's less than a month
that's
away
pretty
from
near.
Wonder Woman. Yeah, that's pretty close. I'm going to have a good time with that movie one way or the other. Either I'm going to love it or I'm going to love watching the train wreck.
Yeah.
Either way, I'm going to come out smiling, maybe laughing. I want him to do well. I hope they're righting the ship. I just Suicide Squad was so bad.
Yeah.
After we're going to fix this, and yeah. Good Lord, look at what you did.
Oh, take a deep breath, DC. Keep it up.
Yeah, I know. Trailers. What was your favorite trailers from seeing Guardians tonight? And they may not have been the same. They probably were, but
Mine were Star Wars. Last Jedi. Wonder Woman.
Yeah, I had that.
That was one. I'm pretty sure we're probably mostly in the same boat here.
It can be different though.
Yeah, they can. There were those. I didn't see one for Alien. Didn't see one for Dark Tower. I thought I'd seen a little more on those.
No, we're not going to get that.
And those were the main ones I remember.
Justice League? Did you get Justice League?
No.
No, I got Justice League.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you know which one I was surprised I didn't see? Spider-Man. Did not.
I didn't get that either. Yeah, you would think. I mean, especially because I'm already seeing that the promo posters for it out, for July.
It's a month away.
So yeah, I don't know.
All right. Well, maybe they still hate each other, Marvel and Sony.
I think.
Maybe. Who cares? As long as they keep making Spider-Man movies and putting them in the MCU and them not sucking.
Thank you very much. Amen.
Okay. All right. So that's it. Thank you, everyone, for listening and supporting. And next week.
Take it easy. Till then, people.